I think we should move on to our final segment of the evening, and the most important to you and me, and the least important to anyone else on the goddamn planet. Our fantasy minute.
This is everybody's favorite segment this season, especially mine tonight.
Well, I've got to give you congratulations to you. You have won the American League A-Holes championship.
That's
Your
right,
first championship
motherfuckers.
in how many? You've won 3 now? How
Yeah, it's
many
my
in 20
third.
years?
Yeah, only my
Third,
third.
first in like 10, 15 years? I
Yeah,
don't
it's
remember
been a
when you won your
while.
second one.
It's been a while.
Well, you and I had an epic battle, which we spoke about from time to time on this very podcast. We were back and forth. In fact, we were tied, pretty much tied or within 2 points of each other for the last 2 months. But we were tied with basically an hour left in the season. I don't know if you were paying as close attention as I was,
I
but
did
in
not
real
notice
time,
that we. I saw me. I
we were
saw. I saw myself have a half-point lead. I didn't
we I was
realize
going to send.
we were tied again.
I actually did take a screenshot. I didn't bother sending it to you, but I've got the screenshot where we were tied at 4:30 my time on Sunday, with the games, most of the games being in the sixth inning. Uh, you eventually did prevail 59 and a half to my 59 points.
That's right.
That half point came because you and I tied in RBI, which is amazing to go through 6 months of a season and come up with the exact same number of RBI. Uh, I think we had like 961 apiece, which means though, if I had one more RBI than what I had 3 RBIs on Sunday, you had 2. That's how I tied you in that category. If I got a 4th RBI, I would have won the league. The league came down to 1 RBI. Much to my chagrin, what also happened on Sunday, and I'm sure you noticed this, but I need to bring this up, is the Cleveland versus
Oh
who was
yes,
Cleveland playing?
that's right. The game
Whoever they were playing.
was
The game
canceled.
was, well, it was delayed and then canceled. Oh, it was Houston. Because it had no implications on playoff seedings, where I had both Josh Naylor and one other Guardian going that did not play. And if either one of those had been able to play, they may have gotten that 1 RBI I needed to change this conversation over completely. But I don't know. I'm still congratulating you. This is an incredible season. This is a blast. The coolest thing is our league only pays out first and second place, so we both got paid.
Yeah,
You got paid significantly more. So congratulations to you. You've got your 3rd championship. It was almost a 3rd championship, 2 of which could have been shared with myself. Just bizarre that we were so close to coming to another tie in a shared championship. 20 years later, 20 years after our inaugural season.
yeah. I
We, uh, we
Go
You
ahead.
have a victory speech prepared?
No. It was just. It
You want
was.
to thank anyone?
I,
Thank the little people?
I just want to say that you and I had a very similar strategy down the stretch, except you took to that strategy the very last day of the season, and I took to that strategy the last month of the season.
Loading up on starting pitchers?
Well, I noticed something. When you have good pitchers and then suddenly they're going to be in the playoff hunt, or they're in the playoff hunt, or they're pretty close to getting guaranteed playoff spot, they stop getting quality starts. And part of my lead a lot of the year was the fact that I was like right there at the top of quality starts. In fact, you and
Yeah,
I
we should
kept,
explain. We don't do wins. We do
yeah,
quality starts because that's something actually the pitcher can affect. Wins are such bullshit because there's so many other factors. So we
yeah.
got rid of wins a long time ago.
So I was going back and forth. I was leading quality starts. You'd be leading quality starts. I think maybe it was Kanopik was the other person in play, or Vit with quality starts, and it was a switch. Well, the minute we got to September, all my pitchers, including Tariq Skubal a lot, starting to get pulled after the 5th fucking inning, and
Yeah.
they were in cruise control. In fact, my favorite pitcher was Raggins for KC, who they kept taking out after 5 2/3. 5
Oh, that's the
2/3.
worst.
5
Oh
2/3
man.
every fucking time. So what I started to do is I had like one slot that was kind of like a mediocre pitcher. So I would start doing matchups. And part of the reasons I even hung into the quality starts is I started to just pick pitchers who were playing the White Sox who were available, even if they were on bad
I
teams.
didn't employ that strategy, but that's
And
shrewd.
I want to say I probably got I about every Oakland starter was available just about. Um, I probably got 6 quality starts in September out of Oakland starters because of their games against the White Sox.
Wow.
Some Angels pitchers I got quality starts out of because of that. But where it got real hairy was like that last week and a half or so. Every guy I picked up would only go 5 fucking innings, even though I always picked up a guy who was on a team who was not going to be in the playoffs because of the idea
Yeah.
that they would let him pitch because there's nothing on the
You'd think.
line, and they wouldn't. And that's when you picked up a bunch of the guys I had picked up over that time frame, and I was like, best of luck to you on getting the point out of quality starts because you're probably going to be lucky to get 1 or 2, and you got 2
I got two.
out of
It
like 7
it
guys.
worked. Well, that's the thing. It actually worked. I got the 2 points. That's what I needed. I got the 2 quality starts and I got the tie in the lead of that category. What I didn't get was the 1 RBI. I only got 3 fucking RBI in the last day instead of 4. So the strategy worked. It's just the fucking rain out and the lack of offensive production is what killed me. And I'm not sure I would change, like, in hindsight. There's not much I could have done about any of that on the last day.
No,
If I wasn't gonna dump my whole team and think that I could get new offensive players that would help more. So no, what it proves is you just had a better team this year. So by 1 RBI, but it's true. So congratulations. Uh, I think you deserve the what was the payout?
five
Five
hundred.
hundred dollars, 500 and 200 for second place. So congratulations to us, I guess.
We both, to make things even more stressful, we both only had 7 guys start offensively that day too. So it was totally
Yeah,
coming down to the wire because I was like, "Fuck!"
we
If
had a
he
bunch
has,
of Soto got sat.
oh my god, I
Uh,
was like, if he has an 8th starter, I'm fucked. Not that it meant they were going to even score any statistic that meant anything to beat me, but I was just all freaking out. So I'm over there counting your offensive players who were starting. I'm like, okay, good, we both have
well,
7.
I'm glad to know that you were freaking out. That makes me feel even better about the whole situation.
Well, I
So
got really
I'm gonna put
calm 2 days
as
before because
cocky as you were via text message
well, I
over
mean,
the
you
weekend.
got to put up a
I'm
good
glad to
fucking
know that
front.
you were not. Yeah, I'm glad to know that was not the truth and that I had you shaking in your boots.
Well, I got really cocky and chose not to send you anything because the day before the final day, I think, or no, 2 days before the final day, I jumped to a 2 point lead. It was 60 to
Yeah, I
58.
saw that.
And I was like,
I
oh
made a
yeah, motherfucker. Then I'm looking, I'm like,
I made my
no, no, I have a 1 RBI lead. I had a 1 RBI lead, and there was one other
you even
category that
lost that and
I know,
still won.
and still won. That's right. Because I could not be
Well,
stopped.
we discussed at length the tiebreaker issue we had because it looked like for a long time we were going to be tied, and then we would be tied for our first tiebreaker, which was who was ahead of the other in more categories of our 10. And it looked like we were going to be 5-5, which would be ridiculous. And we couldn't figure out a second tiebreaker that would be equitable and make sense. But I had an idea. What if going forward, the second tiebreaker, which is so unlikely that we'd ever get to, but what if it was something less arbitrary and something we actually control with our strategy throughout the season? What if it's whoever has the least number of transactions? Because you maximized your 50 allotted 50 moves per
Yeah.
season. I think I ended up at like around 36. That's how I was able to make all those pitching moves on the last day. Not that that's there's nothing wrong with any of it, but I was just thinking that might lead to more strategy. Like if you were considering like conserving your number of transactions just in case we ever had to get to the final second tiebreaker. I just thought it might be an interesting way because or just another way to add a little more strategy into it rather than some randomness. We pick whatever random way to have a second tiebreaker. I don't know. It's something to bring up. Something we certainly couldn't have done on the fly during this
Yeah,
season because
no.
that's totally unfair. It'd be going forward, but something to throw out there. I
Yeah, I
guess
like
popped
that.
into
I
my
like
head.
that. I think that's a good idea. Like, I'm in a
Another reason to think about making a transaction, at least. It's something you control, actually.
yeah. I mean, in Sean's football league, we get charged $2 per transaction
Jesus.
after you draft your roster. So
Really?
um,
I guess I've heard of that, yeah.
so that makes you
And that goes
think.
to the party fund, or how does he
No,
allocate
because
those funds?
we pay out 1 through 3, and then top 5 points, because
Oh, okay.
they never almost never coincide. There's always
Yeah.
a
No,
team who
that's
seems to play the other team, every team,
yeah,
when they have
that's
the
what's
best
stupid about
week.
fantasy football.
Yeah,
That's a good way to mitigate that injustice. I like
yeah.
that, but this is a baseball podcast, so
No, but I'm just saying, like,
fantasy football sucks.
I'm just like drawing that parallel, like it does. It makes you think about, like,
Yeah.
if I'm looking at my team and I'm like, this transaction's not going to be one that's going to get me to the playoffs. Do I want to spend any more money? So like if I'm
Well, I'm thinking if we you probably wouldn't think about it for baseball. You probably wouldn't think about the number of transactions you're making until the last couple of weeks, and that might have changed your strategy right at the very end, or changed mine right at the very end. Just thinking, oh shit, I got to do this, but I can't risk losing the second tiebreaker just because I made
right. No,
these moves. I don't know.
I like it.
I'm gonna throw that out there to the league, which I think is contracting by one. Sam, if you're out there, I'm kicking you out of the league. Uh, I've had to ask you for your participation on multiple occasions. And now I've had to ask you to pay me multiple times. He says he's going to give me the money, but I have not received the monies yet. So
Come
I'm
on,
calling you out
Sam.
on this platform. Sam, you're out, but you still got to pay.
Get your shit together,
Sorry,
Sam.
dude.
Come on.
I think Sam, you're a good guy, but you clearly don't care enough about fantasy baseball. So got to kick you to the curb.
Word Hole Media.